When I was 17, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. 2 years later, she passed away. During these 2 years, my dad was not around much. He was always working and going on business trips. My aunt and grandma took care of Mum. About 5 months after my mother's passing, my dad introduced me to his new girlfriend. I was pissed. I yelled at him, asking how quickly he moved on from Mum when they decided to tell me they had been in a relationship for 3 years. My dad had been cheating on my mom while she was dying. His business trips were to meet his affair partner. I was so angry I packed my stuff and left his house. I haven't spoken to him since that day. Currently, I am 25. The only family I speak to is an aunt who helped me when I left my dad's house. A few days ago, my aunt called me, asked me how I was, and then asked me if I heard from Dad. I said, "Why would I hear from him again? He is dead to me." There was a silence on the phone for a bit before my dad replied, asking if that was what I felt about him. I immediately cut the call when I heard his voice. I realized he was with my aunt when she made the call to me. I texted my aunt telling her, I asked her not to tell Dad anything about me, and she agreed back then. She texted me back saying I was a jerk for saying what I said, and my dad is crushed hearing that and that I should move on by now. I did not want to argue with someone who helped me, so I blocked her. Over the next 2 days I got sent a wedding invitation to my mailbox. The only person in the family who knew my address was my aunt, and she gave my number to various members of the family. I am being bombarded with calls and texts from dad, uncles, cousins, aunts, saying I should give him a chance and come to the wedding. Some calling me names for saying what I said. I got a text from the affair partner saying, "My dad is thinking of postponing the wedding, and I should just talk to him." For context, the affair partner was a friend of my mom and knew she had cancer. I said, "It's not my fault if he postpones the wedding. I don't want to have a relationship with Dad or her. They are trying to force it." It got quiet after that, but being told by so many people from my dad's side that I am a jerk did leave me conflicted, but I am sticking to my guns. So, am I the idiot? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. It's not wrong of your other family members to be open to a relationship with your dad, but it is wrong of them to force you to have one with him. You have every right to have no contact with him, and I think your reasoning is totally understandable. Sending you love, it sounds like a shoot situation. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Even if you do not consider him cheating on your dying mother, he abandoned you, a grieving child, to get his weenie wet. Hell no. They don't get to decide how you process and deal with that loss. Why in the world would they expect you to celebrate that screwed up relationship? Comment 3. Not the idiot. Tell your father you are treating him like he treated your dying mother. Block everyone who tries to tell you how to feel. Move on and don't look back. Now for the update. It's been a few years since I last updated about the situation with my dad. A lot has changed since then, and I felt like it was finally time to share some of what's been happening. I moved to a new city not long after my last post. I got a job that I actually enjoy, and I've been building a life for myself that's mine, not shadowed by the past. I continued therapy, and it helped me deal with a lot of the anger and abandonment issues I had. About a year ago, out of the blue, I got a letter. Not an email, not a text, a handwritten letter. It was from my dad. He didn't try to make excuses for the past or ask for forgiveness. He just told me about his life, how he missed me, and how he regretted the choices he'd made. He wrote that he had been in therapy for the last few years, trying to understand his own actions, and that he was volunteering at a cancer support centre in his spare time. I didn't respond immediately. I sat on that letter for months, reading it over and over again. It stirred up a lot, but it also showed me something I hadn't seen before: vulnerability in my dad. Eventually, I wrote back. I kept it brief, but I told him about my life, my job, my small victories. To my own surprise, I found myself opening up to the idea of having some form of contact with him. We started emailing, then texting, and after a few months we had our first call. It was awkward, it was emotional, but it was real. We didn't gloss over the past. I told him how his actions hurt me, how they changed the trajectory of my life. He listened, really listened, and for the first time, I felt like he understood the depth of the pain he had caused. Then last month he came to visit. We spent a weekend together talking, sometimes just sitting in silence. We visited my mum's grave together, something I never thought I could do with him. We cried, we laughed a little. It was healing in a way I can't fully put into words. I've learned that people can change, truly change, but it's not my responsibility to fix them or the relationship. Forgiveness is a strange, powerful thing. It didn't happen all at once, and it doesn't excuse what he did or erase the past, but it's given me a sense of peace that I didn't have before. I'm not saying everything is perfect, it's not. There's still a lot to work through, but I am saying that there's hope, there's possibility, and sometimes that's enough to start mending something that's been broken for a very long time. To anyone who might find themselves in a similar situation, all I can say is take care of yourself first. Healing is not linear, and it's not the same for everyone, but don't close the door on the chance of reconciliation if it's something you think might bring you peace. It took me years and a lot of work to get to this point, but I can honestly say I'm glad I'm here. Now for the comments. Comment 1, not the idiot. Forgiveness is for you, not for them. You're taking control of your narrative and healing in your own time. It's a tough road, but you're handling it with grace. Plus, it's not like you blindly accepted everything. You took your time to think it over. It's a sign of maturity to give second chances when they're earned. Your peace of mind is what matters most. Comment 2. You're the idiot. I get that healing is important, but you might be setting yourself up for more pain. Your dad's past actions probably caused a lot of hurt, and a letter doesn't erase that. What if he hasn't really changed? You're taking a big risk, and it might not be worth the potential heartache. Take care of yourself first. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Life's too short to hold on to grudges, especially with family. It sounds like your dad is genuinely trying to make amends, and it takes a lot of strength to be open to that. Meeting at your mum's grave must have been tough, but it seems like it was a healing moment for both of you. Keep moving forward. This could be a new chapter for your family. Now, for the next story. So just to give a little context, I have a friend group. I have known Lily for most of my life. We grew up together and I have been close with her family, including her brother Sam. We are also close with another friend from Lily and my high school, Michelle. So this year I hosted Friendsgiving for our friend group. I invited everybody and a couple friends brought some of their friends, which was totally fine because they asked if that was okay. A couple weeks before Friendsgiving, I visited Michelle. Michelle is local to the city I live in, and we originally got close because of Lily, but Lily recently moved out of state. So, Michelle and I were talking about Friendsgiving. I explained how it was going to be a full house. She told me that she invited Sam, Lily's brother, without checking with me first. I explained to her that I did not want Sam to be there. Now, Sam and I have been close in years past, but recently he had been really weird towards me, like not even acknowledging me at family events. I thought it may have to do with him and I having a bit of a fling a couple of years ago, but I'm still not sure. The past 6 months, my interactions with him have been minimal and uncomfortable for me. I told Michelle, I don't want him there, just tell him you forgot about the details or something, to which she responded okay and ended the conversation. Flash forward to a couple of weeks later, Lily is back in town for Friendsgiving and Thanksgiving. We get together to hang out since she is in town, and I also explained to her that Sam was invited by Michelle to Friendsgiving, but I did not want him to come. Lily was very understanding. It's your house, it's your rules, that's fair. So I'm sure that you would imagine my surprise when Michelle, Lily and Sam, plus his girlfriend, all walk into Friendsgiving. At this point, I was seeing red. Now here is where I might be the jerk. When I get upset at people, I tend to get really cold, and I was cold towards Lily, Sam and Michelle. I felt disrespected and hurt that I expressed my feelings so openly and for him to be there. I admit I did not handle it gracefully, but tried to power through the night and continue hosting. After Lily left, I noticed that she deleted me from Find My Friends. I shot her a text message the next day, asking to talk about Friendsgiving with no reply. A couple days later, I messaged Michelle about it, expressing my feelings. Michelle and I went back and forth, but the gist of what she said is, I'm sorry I invited him without your okay, but I thought you were joking when you said you didn't want him there. I'm not going to apologize for the misunderstanding. I don't understand why this turned into such a big deal. Lily still will not talk to me. I am upset because this has been my friend group for years. But also, I have been trying to reflect on my actions. So now I come to you, Reddit. Am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. My comment 1, not the idiot. They were cowards, not rescinding their invite to Sam, allowing his GF to come, and now instead of making it right with you, they are doubling down and blaming you for the fallout of their crap behavior, hoping it will make you feel so bad that you apologize for the wrongs they committed, edited for typo. Comment 2, not the idiot. You just don't simply to invite someone to someone else's house without getting the okay from the host homeowner. Comment 3, next year don't invite the troublemakers, it's your home. Now, for the update, Michelle, who I reached out to, has become distant. She's been spreading her version of the story within our friend circle, painting me as the unreasonable one. I've tried to clarify things, but it seems like I'm just not being heard. Meanwhile, Lily and I still aren't speaking. I've tried to reach out to apologize for my part in the coldness that night, but she's not responsive. It feels like losing a family member, and the silence between us is deafening. Sam, who was at the center of it all, apparently felt the tension and has since apologized to me. His apology felt sincere, but it also reminded me of the rift his presence caused, a rift that seems to have led to permanent damage in these relationships. The rest of the friends seem to be taking sides, and there's a noticeable split. What used to be a tight-knit group now feels like a high school clique scenario. Some have been supportive, reaching out to check on me, while others have echoed Michelle's sentiment, suggesting I overreacted. The whole situation has left me second-guessing myself. I'm filled with regret, not just for how I acted, but for how something I thought was so small turned out to have such big repercussions on friendships I've treasured for years. To make matters all the more heartbreaking, I recently had a personal loss in my family. In times like this, I would have turned to Lily and Michelle for support, but the chasm between us feels too vast. I'm grappling with grief without the friends I once thought would be by my side through thick and thin. I'm realizing now just how fragile friendships can be and how one incident can cause a domino effect of hurt and misunderstanding. This whole thing has been a sad lesson in communication and forgiveness, or the painful lack thereof. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. It's clear you're in a tough spot, and it sounds like Michelle is stirring the pot. Remember, true friends listen to both sides of a story before passing judgment. It's not your fault that some people have chosen to believe her without hearing you out. Keep your chin up, and those who value your friendship will see through the drama. Comment 2. You're the idiot. I mean, come on. You've got to see how your actions might have contributed to the fallout. Friendsgiving is supposed to be about gratitude and togetherness, not whatever went down. Maybe it's time to reflect on what happened and own up to your part in the mishap. It takes two to tango, and sometimes you've got to be the bigger person and make amends. Comment 3, not the idiot. Hey, you've tried to apologize and Sam has accepted it. Lily's silence is her own choice, and you can't force someone to communicate. It's sad that your friend group has split, but these things happen. You're dealing with personal grief too. Focus on healing yourself. Sometimes friendships end and it's nobody's fault. It's just life. Now for the next story. Long story short, when I met my husband, his only source of income was doing in-home massage services. After infection 19, he lost pretty much all work and was earning nothing. I encouraged him to get a job, but he lacks a bachelor's degree. Over the course of 3 years, he's had multiple bartending jobs, personal training jobs, a financial services job, and a roofing job. He was either let go, fired, or pushed out to the point of resigning from all jobs. His highest paid job was maybe $40,000, but he's been unable to hold a job for more than 3 months. It has been very hard with finances on just my income. I've now ruined my credit completely. I've exhausted all other methods of cutting costs, expenditures, and have not been paying many debts because everything is focused on paying for necessary expenses. My position at work is being eliminated in January, and I am having to locate another job. He has not been working for 6 months now. Today he tells me he's going to look for jobs paying close to or equal to $100,000 and then do personal training on the side. By this point, I've heard him tell me something similar every month and no results to show for it. I've held my tongue because I know how difficult it is to land a job with that kind of salary, especially when you haven't made anything close to that salary in any prior job. I know he has no advanced college degree nor experience in any field that would pay that much. Today I became frustrated and I sighed audibly and told him I honestly just want him to focus more on landing a job, not so much what it pays. He blew up on me, telling me I don't support him and that I don't have faith in him, and we got in a bit of a fight. I tried to reassure him that I do support him, but I just need him to be more realistic. He stormed out of the room, locked himself in the bedroom. Now I'm the villain again because I just need him to get and keep a job, even if it only pays $25 an hour. Am I the idiot? I'm always the villain in these fights for focusing on what is realistic. I'm supportive, but come on, you know. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot. If he'd lost a job paying $100K an hour, I'd be sympathetic for not wanting to take that step down. He didn't, though. He even admits that it's unrealistic. I'm guessing he doesn't want a job at all. Comment 2, not the idiot. He needs to focus on getting any reasonable paying job for now, and then looking for that sweet 100K job that only requires an HS diploma and is close to where you live. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Making $40,000 per year is way better than the nothing he's been making for 6 months. Now, for the update. My husband did land a job finally, but it was short-lived. He was let go within 2 weeks due to what his boss called a lack of fit. He insists it wasn't his fault and that his co-workers were against him from the start. We argued about it, and I couldn't help but point out that this was a pattern. He stormed out, and we didn't speak for days. Financially, we've hit rock bottom. Our savings are completely drained. We've had to start using the food bank to make ends meet. I'm picking up any extra shifts I can, but it's not enough. We're behind on nearly all our bills and the stress is unbearable. I found out last week that our car is about to be repossessed, which means I'll struggle to get to work. The worst part, though, is the toll it's taking on our relationship. We're both constantly on edge. He's been spending more time out of the house, and I discovered he's been gambling in the hopes of winning money to sort out our finances. The few times we do talk, it explodes into a fight. And the word divorce has been thrown around more than once. I feel so alone in this. My family offered help, but with strings attached, mainly that I leave him. He says I'm all he's got, but I'm starting to feel like I'm drowning trying to support us both emotionally and financially. I've reached out to a counsellor for myself because I can't shoulder this alone anymore. My heart breaks every day seeing the man I love lose himself more and more, but I'm terrified of what another month of this could do to us. Now for the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot for letting your husband gamble away what little you have left. I get that you're in a tough spot, but gambling is never a solution. It's an addiction that could land you in even more debt. You need to have a serious talk with your husband and get him some help, or you'll both end up in an even worse situation. Comment 2. Not the idiot. You're working extra shifts and seeking counselling, which shows incredible strength and determination. It's unfair that your family's help is conditional. They should support you unconditionally during such a hard time. And as for your husband, it's clear he's struggling too, but you can't fix everything. Focus on what you can control and keep pushing forward. Comment 3. Not the idiot, your efforts to keep things afloat are commendable. It's a difficult time and you're doing the best you can by working more and getting counselling. It's not on you to control your husband's actions, especially when you're already under immense stress. You're not alone, many have been in your shoes. Keep your head up and don't let anyone make you feel guilty for your situation. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.